Now let us see how to avoid frequency distortion. Now we see that the frequency distortion means different frequency components are attenuated in a different way, because alpha is a function of frequency. Attenuation constant alpha is a function of frequency. So if you see that this is the expression of alpha that we are having, now in this, if how to make this alpha independent of frequency? This can be made independent of frequency if this term which is inside this second square root, this Rg minus omega square Lc whole square plus this term, if it becomes equal to Rg plus omega square Lc square. So what is inside the second square root? If I make this square, then square root and square will cancel and I will get Rg plus omega square Lc. So this minus omega square Lc and plus omega square Lc will cancel out. Okay, these two will cancel and I will get Rg and Rg twice of Rg and divide by 2. So I will get root of Rg. So alpha will become root of Rg. Now R and G is generally considered independent of frequency. Thus alpha comes out to be independent of frequency. It becomes independent of frequency. So this condition, that this root of Rg, so this condition, if we solve it, if we solve this R inside this second root and make it equal to this, then it comes out to be the same condition only what we got for phase distortion. For frequency distortion also, if we proceed in the same way, we will get the same expression, which indicates that the condition will come same. That means what condition we got for delay distortion, same condition we will get for phase distortion. Thus the condition of, in order to have a distortionless line, we should always have this condition, R by G should be equal to L by C. Then only it is possible. We next define reflection coefficient. What do you understand by reflection coefficient of a transmission line? So this reflection coefficient is denoted by K. Actually reflection coefficient tells how much the power is reflected from the load, because we have seen that in a transmission line, if we see the equation of voltage and current, we will see that always it involves two terms. One is the forward traveling wave. If we see the expression, the first term always tells about the forward traveling voltage wave, and the second term always tells about the reflected wave. That means from load to source reflected voltage, second term, and first term is the forward traveling wave. So if I take the ratio of reflected by incident, then we get the term called reflection coefficient. So first let us see, we are having a transmission line which is terminated by some load which I am calling as ZR. Okay, ZR is the load. So at this load end, suppose this is my load terminal, when the voltage is coming here, part of the voltage is getting reflected back. So at the load end, if I want to find reflection coefficient, what I will do, first I will, so reflection coefficient means reflected by incident. So at the load end, this is the expression, A plus B ER. ER means voltage at load end and IR is the current at load end. So voltage at load end and current at load end, this is the expression. So you see first voltage, we have current reflection coefficient also, but when I talk of reflection coefficient, I generally deal with voltage reflection coefficient and not current reflection coefficient. So if you see this voltage, so reflected is B, incident is M. So if I take B by M, so B by M, then it becomes reflection coefficient at load end. We denote it by gamma L, or in some text we can also denote by K, reflection coefficient at load end. So it is B by M. And if we see the expression of B and M, you see this is the expression for B and this is for A. So if you take the ratio B by A, this will cancel out. You will get 1 minus Z0 by ZR, 1 minus Z0 by ZR divided by 1 plus Z0 by ZR, 1 plus Z0 by ZR, like this will come. So what is happening? We are getting ZR minus Z0. So this will come as ZR minus Z0 divided by ZR plus Z0, ZR plus Z0, like this will come. So this is the expression for reflection coefficient at the load end. So that is how we get. Now if we want to find the reflection coefficient at any point on the line, so we have to take the general equation. Okay, so if we have to find out the reflection coefficient at any distance L, see, we have seen that we have found reflection coefficient at the load end to be ZL minus ZR minus Z0 by ZR plus Z0. So if we have to see reflection coefficient at any other point on the transmission line which is at a distance S from the load end, then you see the general equation. Say this is the general equation we got. So this part represents the reflected wave and this part represents the incident wave. So if you take the ratio this by this, then what you will get? You will get this term only, ZR minus Z0 by ZR plus Z0. Now you are doing this divided by this. This is reflected part, this is incident part, incident term. So this by this means this will come into, that means this term will come only ZR minus Z0 by ZR plus Z0. But here one exponential term will come, e to the power minus, this is gamma, minus gamma s divided by e to the power plus gamma s. So it will come e to the power minus 2 gamma s. So this term will come, this term I am writing here. So I will get the term as e to the power. So like this will come, ZR minus Z0 by ZR plus Z0 into e to the power minus 2 gamma s, and gamma is root of zy. So this factor will come if we want to find out the reflection coefficient at any point on line which is at a distance s from the load end. So this is the expression for reflection coefficient.